Good morning friends, welcome to video lecture on control systems engineering, and the prescribed textbooks for this is Nagarkani according to the syllabus of JNT Anantapur. Nagarkani is best for control systems engineering, and other referral books are Nagrath Gopal along with UA Bakshi and VU Bakshi. In today's class we are going to learn the learning outcomes of this class are introduction to control systems, types of control systems, open loop and closed loop control systems, advantages and disadvantages of open loop and closed loop systems, and also comparison between open loop and closed loop systems. So initially, what is a system? See, the definition of the system is to understand the meaning of word control system. First we will define the word system and then we will try to define the word control system. That is, in order to justify what is a control system, first of all we are going to learn about what is a system and then we will go for what is a control system. See, a system is a combination of an arrangement of different physical components which act together as an entire unit to achieve certain object. That means a system consisting of number of components. They are arranged as a group together to perform a certain task. Example of this is for example a classroom. We say that is a classroom is a system which consisting of a blackboard, benches, fans, etc. Okay, so the types of systems are physical system, ecological system and biological systems. So coming to the control system, to control means to regulate or to direct or to command. So here we are controlling a system. A system is nothing but a group of components and we are controlling that group of components system. See here, hence a control system is an arrangement of different physical elements connected in such a manner so as to regulate, direct or to command itself or some other thing. For example, if a lamp is switched on or off using a switch, the entire system can be called as a control switch. So for example, this is a physical lamp. Initially it is in a physical mode, but whenever we are giving a control, that is a switch, then the output of this lamp will be in our hands. That is a switch on and off. That means we are controlling this physical lamp by giving power supply. And the additional terms that are necessary to describe the control systems are plant or process, controller, input, output and disturbances. So plant or process, here we say that plant or process, it is the only block which is going to process the input. Okay, so controller in sense it controls the input signal. Okay, input we call it as a reference input and output we call it as a desired output. Disturbances in sense the noise which is affected from the outside environment. So see here, plant or process, a portion of the system which is to be controlled or regulated is called plant or process, which is to be controlled and regulated. That means the input signal is controlled and then again it is regulated. So then the system is called, then the block is called as plant or process. Controller, the element of the system itself or external to the system which controls the plant or process is called a controller. That means here the controller is going to control the process of the plant. Okay, coming to the input, as it is an applied signal or external signal applied to a control system from an external energy source in order to produce a specific output. Here you know what is an input. Coming to the next one, output, it is a particular signal of interest or the actual response obtained from the control system when the input is applied to what is the reference signal we have given and what is the output we are going to obtain. It will be indicated or obtained in our output. So see here we have disturbances, the internal disturbances as well as external disturbances. Disturbance is a signal which tends to adversely affect the value of the output of a system. So either internal disturbance affects the value of the system or an external disturbance. So internal disturbance is nothing but which is generated within itself, and external disturbance is something generated outside of the system. So now coming to the next one, classification of control systems. So natural control system, that is a biological system which is inside the human beings. For example, the perception of a system inside a human being is good example. So man-made control systems, for example, see accelerator or braking system, it is a man-made system. This is a natural control system and this is a man-made system. We can control this one, but we cannot control this natural control system. See, the control system which are designed by the human beings is called as man-made control systems. And the next one is combinational control system. It is a combination of natural and man-made control systems together. Driver driving a vehicle. Here driver is a natural system, driving a vehicle is nothing but a man-made system. Time varying and time invariant control system. So the time varying in sense, whenever the time is been changing, the output of the system is also going to be changed. Sometimes invariant in sense, even though the time is being changed, there will be no change in the system. Okay, time varying control systems are those systems in which the parameters of the systems are varying with time, and it is not dependent on whether the input and output functions are functions of time or not. So time varying, whenever the time is varying, in which the parameters of the systems are varying with respect to time. When the time is varying, the parameters of the particular system are also going to be varied irrespective of the functions of it, whether it is a time or not. Time invariant control systems are those parameters of the system are not varying with time, even though the input and output functions of time. Even though the input and output are the functions of time, they are not varying. Coming to the next one, linear and non-linear control system. So the control system which satisfies the superposition principle is called a linear system. Which does not satisfy the superposition is called a non-linear control system. Okay, so this is a linear control system and this is non-linear control system. The next one, continuous time and discrete time control systems. So in a continuous time control system, all the system variables are the functions of a continuous time variability. So here in a discrete time invariant system, one or more than systems are variables are known only at certain discrete levels. This is continuous, means that the signal is continuously varying. It may be higher, it may be low. See here in discrete time control, one or more system variables are known only at a certain discrete intervals only. That means there will be change in the time interval. Next one is deterministic and stochastic control systems. So the control system is said to be deterministic when the response of the input as well as the behavior to the external disturbances is predictable and repeatable. If such response is unpredictable, then it is to be stochastic. See, this is a deterministic signal. See, it is predicted. That means this will be the output, and it varies with time to time, perfect time interval. Then it is called as a deterministic signal. Stochastic means if such a response is unpredictable, that means we cannot say that it comes in uniformly. then it is called as a stochastic process. Lumped parameters and distributed parameter control systems. So the control system that can be described by original differential equation is called as lumped parameter control systems. See here, m into d square x by dt square equals to c into dx by dt plus k into x. So this parameter or this formula is going to be used very much in our upcoming problems. So the control system that can be described by partial differential equation called as distributed control systems. We are using partial differentiation in order to identify the required output like this. See, f1 into dx by dy plus ft into dx by dz is equals to g into dou square x by dz square. Okay, now remind these two formulas which will be used in our upcoming sessions. So single output and multiple input. See, single output, the control system having only one input and one output is called a single input and single output control system, and the control system which is having multiple inputs and multiple outputs are called as a multiple input multiple output control system. See, for example, here we are measuring the temperature, humidity. So here we are giving number of inputs and we are taking multiple outputs, right? And then we are going to give these measurements to the comparator, and then again we are sending this, and we are taking multiple outputs here. See here we have given 3 inputs and we are taking 3 outputs. So the next one is open loop and closed loop system. Any physical system which does not actually correct the variations in its output is called as an open loop control system. See here the output value cannot be dependent on the input. See, why? Because when the input, let us say this is we have given a reference signal. If we have given a reference signal, let it be x of t, and we have a, let it be y of t. So as of my input is x of t and I have obtained y of t, even though this is not the actual thing what I have given here, that means there will be some disturbances or some noise will be obtained which cannot be corrected automatically by this process. Is called as a open loop control system. And closed loop control system, we have any physical system in which the output is somehow depend on the input is somehow depend on the output or changes of the output is called as a closed loop system. See here in this circuit we have a controller, a processor or plant and a feedback path. Here we are giving an input reference signal. That signal is being controlled by the controller and then it is given as input to the processor or plant where the actual process has to be done, and the sample output of the process is given as feedback to the error detector signal here, so that it may be, the feedback may be positive or negative. If it is negative, then this error detector will subtract the error negative value, that is a reference signal minus a negative feedback, and the remaining signal will be given to the controller. If it is positive, then this will input signal will be added with the feedback signal and the output is given to the controller for further process. So advantages of open loop control system. So it is very much easy to construct, and maintenance in case of maintenance it's really very easy. And come to next one is, generally these are very stable and such systems can be designed economically, that means the cost will be less. And coming to the disadvantages, inaccurate and unreliable, that means it cannot be the output cannot be accurate and it cannot be reliable system, and the changes due to the external disturbances cannot be corrected automatically, as I have already told you previously. Coming to the advantage of closed loop system, accurate measurement, and even though there is non-linearities, it acts as an accurate circuit. So the sensitivity of the system may be made small to make the system more stable. Here, in order to make the system more stable, the sensitivity is been less, and the closed loop systems are less affected by the noise. Coming to the disadvantages, complex and costlier, as we have already seen that, and reduce the overall gain of the system in order to obtain the accuracy. Stability is a major problem in which in a closed loop system, and one more case is needed to design a stable closed loop system. So comparison between open loop and closed loop. See, so any change in the output has no effect on the input, that is, feedback does not exist in an open loop control system, and feedback is existed in closed loop system. Change in the output affects the input, which is possible by use of feedback. And see here, the output measurement is not required for operation of a system. Here the output measurement is necessary because we are giving it as a feedback. Feedback element is absent in open loop, and feedback element is present in closed loop. So error detection is absent and error detection is present or necessary. So coming to the next one, high sensitivity to disturbances and less sensitivity to the external disturbance. That means either it may be internal disturbance or external disturbance. Coming to the next one, high sensitivity to the environmental changes, less sensitivity to the environmental changes, and the bandwidth of the open loop is very small when compared to the closed loop. So it is easier to construct and cheap. It is complicated to design, and hence it is costly. Generally, these are stable in nature, and these are stable is the major consideration while designing. So highly affected by non-linearities, reduced effects of non-linearities. So examples of control systems are open loop control system, traffic light control system. See here this is open loop control system. That means there is no feedback actually here. So the desired time is given, and the release is to control the sequence. For this block we are given some power supply, and from this, let it be, this is a plant and this is my output. That means the process has been done in the plant, and the output will be obtained through a light form. That is a actual traffic control system, irrespective of the density of traffic present in the road. This is set only once. That's why, irrespective of the density traffic, it is going to show that lights. That means a red, green, orange. Okay, so that it leads to sometimes it leads to huge traffic jams, because these are programmed once and it cannot be changed. So coming to the control system, we can also say that in a closed loop control system, open loop control system, in a closed loop control system, there will be some feedback, so that the traffic lights can be changed and the traffic can be cleared easily. And another system is home heating system. It means here they have given for a closed loop system. So the desired temperature is being given to the wall. Through wall it is given to the heating system, and some part of the heating system temperature is given to the temperature sensor, and this temperature sensor checks the desired temperature, and if it is greater than the desired temperature, that means the reference temperature will be neglected or subtracted by this feedback path, and the desired temperature or the desired value will be given to the valve again. In this whole process we can control the system. Okay, so that's for today's class. Thank you.